Welcome to the webinar. Today, you're going to be blessed. We're going to talk about getting fit and living healthy with motivational expert, former bodybuilding champion, all natural. All
Of
right. So,
course.
this is going to be solutions that you can implement. This isn't about taking a bunch of illegal substances. This is about taking stuff that's going to help you get in the best shape of your life so you can feel better about yourself, so you can feel on top of the world and reach your full potential, maximize your greatness. So we are excited. How you doing, Aaron? I see you. I see you.
Fantastic. Super Saturday, man. It's beautiful out here. 90s, high 90s in Connecticut. Beach weather. So we're excited, Daryl. Thank you so much for having me on here, man.
Man, I'm really excited. So guys, listen, one of the reasons why I brought Aaron on is because I heard about his story as a former athlete, going through a lot. We were just actually talking before we went live here about some of the challenges he has faced, injury. I mean, just having an opportunity, having doors slammed in his face, overcoming adversity, all things that we talk about on a week-to-week basis. And I connected with this story. I said, man, this is a real guy. This is somebody who's been through some stuff. And I started following him, and I'm like, this guy does like a motivational video every day of the week. Is that true?
5 days a week. So I do Monday through Friday for all those out there jumping online early in the morning.
Yeah. So talk to us about that real quick, man. What is that about? So you've got motivational Monday,
Take Action
transformation.
Tuesday.
Oh, take action Tuesday.
Take Action Tuesday, Work Wednesday, Transformation Thursday, and Fun Friday. And so that story actually is pretty amazing. Actually, I had my first child in 2009, and my wife and I, we had a little challenge. I mean, he was 5 weeks early, so he had really bad acid reflux. So we didn't sleep much. So any parents out there that know what that's like, being sleep deprived, it can be a serious, serious issue. So one morning, it was very, 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 very dark out, and we hadn't slept much. My wife was asleep. The baby was finally asleep. And I was just feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling a lot of anxiety. And so I didn't want to wake my wife up. I didn't know an outlet. And I put the Lord in the middle of everything I do. So I went out in my car and I started praying. And I was just, Lord, help me to relieve this comfort I feel right now. And just, I know that we can do this. My wife and I, we're a great team. And the Lord said, do a video. And so I said, all right. So I get my phone out and I just start recording, right? And so that gave me an outlet, right? And I felt better, Daryl. I felt really, really good after I did the video. So I was like, all right, I feel good. And then the Lord said, put it on Facebook. And I was like, hold on a second, time out, Lord. I said, that's going to put me out there. I don't know if I'm ready for that level of vulnerability. Like, I don't know. Like, I just wanted to kind of vent a little bit. And the Lord said it again and again, and it got louder and louder and louder. And I'm very obedient. And I said, all right, Lord, I put it on Facebook, but I'm going to let you know, Lord, I'm not very comfortable with doing this right now because I'm known as this football guy, this very tough, manly guy. I'm not going to go on Facebook crying about what's going on in my life right now. And I put it on Facebook, Daryl, and it was absolutely amazing. Within about 15, 20 minutes, I started receiving messages, comments saying they felt the same way. And thank you so much for sharing. And at that point, that part of my life was born. And so from there on, if you look back at my YouTube channel, you'll see this has been almost 6 years in the making. Every single day. And when I started it, it was just kind of just talking, hey guys, how you doing? And then it evolved quickly as I started getting more excited about the difference I was making and the impact I was making. And it's never scripted. I'd say a prayer before I do it. And then I started putting kind of some subject on it so that I can keep my alignment with the purpose and the message and what I was actually praying for guidance and clarity. And so Motivation Monday came about and Take Action Tuesday. And so, I've been doing those videos every single morning, man. Right after I get out the gym, I train at 5:30 in the morning. And so right out the gym, I get home around 7 before I get the family up for the day. And I do my video in my car and I can yell and I can scream. I can get excited without interrupting the neighbors and the family. So it's a lot of fun, Daryl. And I love the fact that I make that impact with the challenges that I'm going through. So that's what drives me.
Man, that is awesome, man. So take us a step back, man. First of all, thanks for being transparent, being obedient to God. One of the things I do, I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually an executive pastor at a church.
Amen.
One of the things that's hard for me as a pastor is when you pray for people and God speaks to them and we have a clarity on what we're supposed to do. And then days go by, weeks go by, months go by, and they haven't done anything with the revelation they received. So, man, kudos to you for taking action and being transparent and vulnerable and really walking by faith, man. So thanks for sharing that with me, man. That's awesome. It speaks to your character and who you are.
Thanks, man.
back to kind of your journey as an athlete for our audience. Man, when did you start playing, and then and just walk us through your journey as an athlete?
Well, Daryl, football is very, very important to me. Back when I was 9 years old, my father, who loves the Steelers. I'm not a Steelers fan. I'm a big Giants fan, but he loves the Steelers. The terrible, the towels, the what was it called? The terrible curtain. What is it called? I don't even know. The terrible towels, right? And then the steel curtain. There we go. Now he'd kill me if I messed that up. But so I played ball since I was 9. He was my coach. We did really well. I was that kid that was at the dinner table. We're going through signals and what we're going to do. And this was really fun, because I felt like I was doing something big, and my dream was always to go to the NFL. So I played Pop Warner football. I played in high school, was very fortunate to play the varsity level at my freshman and sophomore year. Won 2 state championships. So I got right into the rings and what it was like to be a champion real soon. And then my junior and senior year was a little tough. We didn't do too well, and I actually struggled from a very serious injury. I actually tore my sartorius muscle, which is the one that runs from your hip down to the inside of your knee, on a kick return. I scored, won the game, and everybody's piling on top of me, and I realized I couldn't move. I couldn't get up. And my mom hurdled the fence, ran on the field. I've never seen anybody jump like that before. Never mind my mom. But it was crazy. And at that moment, I realized that all of my dreams of going to a big D1 school was destroyed, because now here I was, damaged goods in my junior year. And so at that point, I had a few options, and most of it was financial aid. And I don't come from a very wealthy family. Both my parents worked. My father was a welder, as well as a union painter. He painted bridges. And then my mom was a waitress. She worked third shift or second shift while my dad was home during the day. So it was a yin and yang thing. And so sports was very, very important to me because it kept me busy during the time that my parents, were at work. And so here I was with a dilemma, and wanting to go to school and wanting to play football and want to be in front of a large crowd and really getting excited. And I had the opportunity to go to Southern Connecticut State University. And so here I was, and I realized that I didn't have the requirements to play as a freshman, which, again, in the 90s, and I don't know if that's, the same for everyone, but in the 90s, coaches here in the Northeast really, they didn't get involved in that much. If you knew about how to do the clearinghouse, then you did. If you didn't, then you didn't. And so here I was, a Proposition 48. I had to go through this summer course and all these prep classes to actually play, and then to come to find out I couldn't play. All I could do was practice. And that was devastating. Here I was, a young teen, played ball since I was 9, never knew what it was like to sit on the bench and not play and produce. And here I was having to do that. And so it was devastating. I quickly found myself, filling that time with reckless things and just having fun. And it was a great event. But again, it wasn't in alignment with my football dreams. But fortunately, I fell in love with who is my wife now, 22 years, right? And she was there for me, and she helped me to guide me and keep me on path. And so here I was making a choice. And so I chose my academics. I decided to play minor league football. For those who don't know what that is, it's kind of like a weekend warriors, but I played a more of a higher level division. So it wasn't just weekend warriors. It was college kids that maybe didn't get in because of the grades or whatever it may be. And so here I was playing minor league ball, playing very well in 2004, having a lot of fun, winning championships again, winning MVPs. And so I had a great opportunity actually in 2006. Went down to Florida, played a national championship game, got MVP. I think I rushed for over 400 yards, had 6 touchdowns. And the announcer came down to give me my trophy, and he said, "Who are you? You look like you belong in the NFL playing on Sundays." He says, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I've had a few injuries. I had some struggles, and I'm loving the game right now, and I would love an opportunity." And he goes, "Well, you showed it today, and maybe I can make a few phone calls." And so actually he had been good friends with Kevin Gilbride for some years now. And so that Monday I received a phone call from Kevin Gilbride telling me that his friend Dick Seuss down in Florida had given him a call about me and about the game that I had and wanted to give me an opportunity. So here comes the door, right? The opportunity. And I'm going crazy because I know who Kevin Gilbride is. I mean, shoot, the Giants is everything, going back to, my gosh, the years of, Otis Anderson and, Phil Simms and, Mark Barraro and, I mean, like those guys, Lawrence Taylor's. And so here I was like, holy smokes, like I'm going to have my shot. And so it was January and I obviously didn't go to college, so I didn't get drafted, didn't go into, free agency, and I didn't have an agent. But here I was with an opportunity, and Kevin said, can you make an arena team? And I said, heck yeah, give me the opportunity. Put me out there. I will show up. And so that's what I did. I drove out to, my gosh, dude, it was Milford, Massachusetts, 2 hours one way. Back and forth. Here are all these pedigree guys, living up in the hotels, going to camp, and I was still working as an engineer. So I would drive out 2 hours after work, go out there, train, and then come back the wee early mornings of the 2, 3 o'clock in the morning to do it again for 2 weeks. I made the team. I remember sitting at the round table. It was so amazing, Daryl, that I was sitting there, all the coaches there. I got my playbook. I'm holding it tight. And the head coach says, I got good news and I got bad news. He goes, what do you want first? And I said, well, give me the bad news. At least the good news would cheer me up on the way out. And he says, well, the bad news is I don't have number 49. I have number 27. Welcome to the team. And I said, holy smokes. And so as I left that room and I'm watching all these 21-year-olds, and I was 28 at the time, and I had all these 21-year-olds congratulating me, and I'm like, holy smokes, I'm about to be paid to play football. I'm about to be a professional athlete. Holy smokes. And so had an amazing, I'm going to share this with you real quick. So they had the equipment room. Now, mind you, even at the college level, we didn't have all the nice, shiny stuff. This opportunity, the coach goes, go in there and pick out what you want. Pick out your pads, your helmet, your gloves, all yours. I felt like I was playing Madden. You know how back in the day you can make your own guy, you can put on the shoes and the gloves and the visor. Dude, I was in there picking out my mask. I was bugging out, bro. I was in such a happy place. I didn't care if I played a game or not. All I cared was I got to pick out my equipment. So it was simple pleasures like that. But here was, I'm about to play my first season, trained in the best shape of my life. I'm about 235, 5'11", running a 4.5 40, got about a 40-inch vertical, benching 225 about 20, 25 times. I'm in freak mode right now, and I'm ready to crush the competition so I can go into camp come August with my New York Giants. And so here it is. I get announced, and Aaron Hairston. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I remember it like it was yesterday. And so I played 5 weeks, man. My 5th week, I went in high motion, played a toss, played to the left. And if you guys know about, arena ball, that high motion is dangerous. And for me, I am not afraid of contact. So I'm like, listen, you put me in high motion 10, 15 yards ahead of time, everybody's getting smashed. Everybody's getting it. So I go back there, I get the toss, and I come around the corner, and the DB makes a move on the wide receiver, gets off the block, and dives at my knee. As soon as I planted, and boom, and my knee pops, I hop a few more yards trying to get the first down. And then at that moment, the whole place was silent. 10,000 people silent. You can hear a pin drop in there. My mom was there. My wife was there. My brothers, everybody was there. And at that moment, I just screamed out because I knew that my dream was over. Wow. And me going to the Giants was all over. And so it was very difficult as they carried me off the field. And I'm in the trainer's room, and the doctor's doing his assessment. And he's like, holy smokes. Man. He goes, bro. He's like, we got to get you over to the ER right now, man. And so he heads me over to the ER. They do an MRI, and the doctor says, it looks like a grenade went off in your knee, bro. You blew your ACL, your PCL, meniscus is torn in half, and yeah, dude, you're done. And I was like, oh. So as you can imagine, the feeling I felt at that moment with on a high to a low, it was devastating. But because I put the Lord in everything I do, I had that foundation, and I said, okay, Lord, I said, well, what's next? And so 9 months later, I came back, played another season with the Don Joy brace, and, had one of the greatest, they say it was one of the greatest runs in arena ball, with an injury like I had. I ran about 60 yards, and the yards only 50 yards, right? I ran almost 60 yards for a touchdown, and it was great. And then the team folded, and then that was it for my football career in regards to playing. And so at that point, I had a choice, so I decided to go back into my computer engineering and be great at that until my next journey came.
Man, hold on a second, man. So, man, talk to us a little bit. I mean, you mentioned, your faith being a foundation, but man, a lot of people are out here really trying to reach their dreams. In fact, let me do a couple shout outs real quick. My wife is on. Hey, sweetie, I see you. Shavana, Cody, Tim, Ariel, Pastor Ariel. I see Ileana, Cookie, Christopher Fowler, man, doing this thing out there, playing overseas, man. Really proud of you, man. Glad to see you. Thank you guys for joining. I'll do some more shout outs later. But, man, he just touched on something that I think we can't just breeze over, and that's the fact that he reached this dream of his and then had it taken away. And for some people, they had that experience in life, whether it was a marriage, whether it was a certain financial goal they were trying to reach. They reached that goal. Man, I finally am living in what I have set out to do, and then it
Mhm.
had been taken away from. So, man, how did you handle that, and how were you able to bounce back to still be able to be successful and not just successful, but here's the key: happy.
Hmm.
Happy. How'd you do it?
So during the process of this knee surgery, it was tough, man. And because I had married my best friend, and she was always there for me, through my college years and through that tough times. I remember one time I'm sitting on the couch, and she was bringing me my medicine, and it was my Vicodin or whatever they had given me. And I sat there, and I had the Vicodin, and I didn't get addicted to those, and I'm so thankful I didn't. I didn't like them. They made me really nauseous, and I didn't want to eat. And so here I was sitting on the couch, and my wife was, very, very, very supportive, and she's an amazing cook, and so she was feeding me and taking care of me and nurturing me. And about 4 to 6 weeks into the recovery process, I decided that I stopped doing any type of painkillers at that moment because I didn't like them. And I was just doing Motrin 800s, just for the inflammation, and following the process. And so, as you can imagine, my leg was done. I mean, it was so done. But the key there is that my wife, about 4 to 6 weeks into it, maybe 6 to 8, the wife goes, "Oh, you're not going to just sit up on that couch for the rest of this process. You got to get up." And, at that moment, I realized what she was doing. She was not allowing me to feel bad for myself. She was like, "Aaron, you need to get up." And so I remember it like it was yesterday. I hobbled my butt over to the sink to start washing some dishes. And she was like, "Get up. Come on, Aaron. Come on, Aaron. You can do this." And I did it. And, she was there for me. And we both put the Lord in the middle of everything we do. We were very prayed up. And, that was our strength and our rock. And so, after the 9 months of going through, therapy and then bending my knee and pushing, and the pain was so excruciating, but I wanted to get back on the field. I knew that I could get back on the field, and I had the best doctors and the best therapists, and I had all the people around me, and I had the best Lord, man, because God, he put that will in me, man. He said, "Aaron, you're just not done yet. You're not done yet. Continue to push." And I had a great wife that was there for me. So it was my support system: my mom, my dad, my brothers, my wife, my family, my coaches. Everybody was there continuing to encourage me. But here's the thing. I had to make a decision. I had to say whether I was going to quit or not. And I just recall my father telling me the first time I said can't, and almost getting knocked out because my father would not allow that word in the house. And so as I started to think those negative thoughts, I quickly remembered. I said, "Listen, that's not in my vocabulary. I'm not a quitter. I don't believe in can't. I can do this." And so at that point, I made a decision to support my supporters because they believed in me. And so it was time for me to believe in me, and the Lord believed in me. And so I knew I had everything I needed. So that was what got me through it, bro.
Man, I absolutely love that. One of my favorite quotes, I think it comes from Les Brown.
Mm.
Uh, Maybe not. I don't know. I listen to so many people that I don't know, but one of my favorite quotes is sometimes you have to believe in somebody else's belief in you before you can believe in yourself. And for me, being a person who struggled with suicide, I too can relate to that statement of when people believe in you and see something in you, it helps you to live up to what they see in you, and that can help you get through life's trials, tribulations, failures, because you see that if somebody else believes that there's a hope in this future path, then you need to get up and pursue it, because you don't want to let people down, and because it encourages your faith and your belief when other people are believing in you. So, man, thank you. Those are some great tips. And if you're out there and you're in that place where, man, you have reached that plateau where, man, you were successful in something you set out to do, but now I don't know, the business fell through, the marriage fell through, and you're in that rut, and you feel like, man, I don't know what to do in my life. I just kind of want to quit, throwing the towel. Know
Mhm.
that following Aaron's advice that you can do it. You can do it. Get back up. Take that word "can't" out of your vocabulary
Hmm.
and go be the person that God created you to be. God still believes in you. You're still breathing. There's still purpose inside of you. So
Amen.
go live the life of your dreams. You are not what happened to you. You are who
That's
you
right.
today. So go ahead and develop that positive mindset. Lean into those relationships. Don't shy away. One of the things that kept me in the darkness and struggling with the suicide was that I never opened up to people about what was going on the inside of me. I didn't lean on my support system. I had family, just like Aaron mentioned. I had coaches who cared about me. I had players, teammates who cared about me, but I just never told them what was going on. And it can be very easy as an athlete, as a former athlete, to bottle everything up on the inside, and then you're portraying an image on the outside that isn't healthy, and can lead to some very damaging things, whether that's drug abuse or suicidal thoughts or depression or just being in a rut. So lean
Mm.
on your support system because your best days are always ahead. All right,
That's
so
right.
talk to us, man. So then you know that happens. You're injured. You get into computer engineering for a while, man. How did you transform into this transition? Excuse me, into this healthy lifestyle bodybuilder champion and some of this isotonic solution. Tell us about that.
Woo! so, so here's the thing. As I was doing my computers and I was in and out of all these offices, I started to notice something. I was making good money. I was making a living, but I wasn't living. I noticed that there was something missing there. I was different than a lot of people I was working with. And for many, though, that are in computers, they realize that they're not very social. They're not very impactful when they walk in the room. And I would walk into the room and it was like, I have arrived. Like, hello, people, let's go. You know, what's going on? And, you know, and quickly become a problem solver and get right in there. And I loved computers because it was not only the badge, right? Because I think that was the number one thing. I was living through the badge. I'm a computer engineer. Ha, ha, ha. Look at me. So that was what it was. It was a lot of ego. And I know as athletes, that's what we live on because that's what we're called to live on, right? We live on our own island. You know, you have a position to play and you're the best at that position or else someone's going to take that position. So you must have a chip on your shoulder. You must have this little swag that's going. So I took that into computers with me and I was very competitive at that. But here's the thing. Nobody else was competing but me. so at that point, you know, I'm showing half up, right? Because now that I'm going to get paid anyways. So I started to notice this decline in my performance because nobody else cared. Nobody else was competing, you know, and I was there going hard. And so at that point, I actually decided to open up my own company. I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own company and I'm going to work with athletes to help them to get the best out of life using the vehicle of sports. Because I know a lot of athletes use the vehicle of sports to get the best out of life and the other way around. And so when the sport ends, then they don't know what to do. And so I took what I learned in the journeys that I had to say, you know what, I'm going to create a baseline company that's going to help guys get a shot. I'm going to use all my network. I'm going to use all my skills and everything I have in the second 8 hours to really work on this company. And so me and my brother, we kind of joined forces, and my brother and I were very close. We do everything together. And so here we were creating this entity, and we were going to change the way that these athletes react and respond to adversity and struggle and change and injury. Because, you know, in the football world, I mean, injury happens like that. It's a contact sport. It's gladiators, man. And the man that survives is the one that wins. So here it was, this great opportunity, and we're working with these athletes. We're having a lot of fun. We're going out to the NFL Combine every year and hanging out with Marshall Faulk and Michael Irvin and Drew Berman and, you know, all these, you know, Hugh Jackson. I mean, we're in VIP with these guys, and we're behind the fence. And it was awesome. And we had all these contacts. And so we were living again in this second 8 hours of our day back into sports. My brother had a real bad injury as well. He had 2 herniated discs as a quarterback, got hit, compressed, and it ended his joint where he couldn't tie his shoes and socks. But here's the thing. We actually bought an ABA basketball team as well. And we were like, hey, we're going to give guys a shot in basketball too. And we're going to just put all our funds in there and just going to empty out our bank accounts. And we're just going to just give because this is where we're having fun. And so along the way, we had hired this athletic trainer, you know, who was a holistic sports medicine professional. He had been doing it for many years. We had hired him to come down and work with our athletes because we wanted to make sure our athletes were taken care of pre and post game. And so he started talking to us about what are we doing? And at that point, I was like, dude, listen, if you knew my story, I couldn't play if I wanted to, man. My knee's a mess. And my brother was like, yeah, dude, my back is, we look good, but we can't play, man. We're done. And he goes, well, maybe you're not done. And maybe, we've kind of come in contact with each other because of the next level and the next thing for your life. And so I immediately kind of sensed that this was uncomfortable. So I said, nope, I'm all set. My brother took heed, took his number down, was like, all right, I'll talk to you later. My brother's always been that guy. And so we went ahead and did our ABA season, did very well, made it to the Elite Eight down in North Carolina, took a lot of guys to the next level. Some guys got shots overseas, and we accomplished what we wanted to set out to do. Eventually, we ran out of money. It was fun, but, we didn't come from a lot of money, and we didn't make a lot of money. And so whatever we had, we gave, and that was it. And, whatever benefited out of that for those guys is what we did it for, right? It wasn't about the money for us. It was about giving and letting go and opportunity and, again, providing for guys. And so at that point, my brother, and this was in October of 2011, my brother, during a very bad snowstorm we had in the Northeast, decided after getting a cortisone shot that he was going to go outside and go do shoveling. So he went outside doing some shoveling, and as well as he felt, he came in the house holding his back and back into a bad situation. Couldn't tie his shoes, couldn't bend over, couldn't sit, real bad sciatic, and he was in a mess. Called his doctor up. Doctor said, "You're done. You can't get any more shots, man. You're done for the month." And my brother was like, "Oh, no, that's not going to work. I must." He's a social worker, and he was working in the group homes and working with kids, and he's like, "I got to go to work. I can't be laid up like this. Is not going to work." And the doctor's like, "I'm sorry." So he immediately called this guy Keith up and said, "Keith, whatever magic juice you got, bro." He goes, "I want it all. I want it all, and send it immediately because I need something to fix me right now." So Keith gets on the phone. They start chatting. My brother goes ahead, gets his system and everything that he's going to get started with based on the recommendations that Keith made. And then my brother calls me up and says, "Listen, I'm sending a pack to you, Aaron, and we're going to do this thing. I found what we're going to do for the rest of our life." And, you can imagine at 11 o'clock at night, I was not trying to hear any of what he was saying. I said, "Trevor, what are you doing, bro? Why are you not snuggling with your wife, man? It's 11 o'clock at night. What are you talking about? I got to work in the morning." Like, And he goes, "Well, anyways, it's on the way to your house. You're good." So then I'm like, what? I hung up the phone, continued the movie on with the wife. And a couple of days later, I got a huge box in the mail. So I looked at it, said Isogenics on the side. And I'm like, what is this? So I'm like, kicked it under my bed. Didn't really think too much of it. My brother calls me up and says, "Hey, did you get your box, man? Did you get the box?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I said, "I told you I'm not interested, bro." He's like, "Listen, man, just open it up." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." And so it sat there, Daryl, collected dust for like 3 months, bro, till like January, right? And it was October. So January comes around, football season's in heighten again. We got all these workouts, we got these pro days and all this stuff. And so we're out in Massachusetts. And we're working out with some guys over there, and we remember that we knew a lady that actually worked in fitness that lived in Norwood, Massachusetts. So we go over there to her studio, and she's working out some women, and they're getting ready for their bikini competition. And I'm like, holy smokes, like these people are fit. Holy smokes. So then she calls us into the office, and she goes, "Let me see your abs." I said, "What?" I looked at Trevor. I'm like, "Who is this woman?" And she goes, "Let me see your abs. I'm serious." So we pull our shirts up, and she goes, "You got 12 weeks. I said, 12 weeks for what? She goes, "Oh, you're doing a fitness competition." And I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "I don't think you understand." I said, "I'm an ex-football player." I said, "I go on the stage with pads and I'm in the battle." I said, "I'm not going to stand on stage naked. I'm not about that. I'm not going to make that happen." I said, "You're out of your mind." So then she goes, "Well, you got 12 weeks. Figure it out." So the door slams. She leaves the room. I looked at my brother. I said, "What did you get us involved in?" I said, "What are you doing?" And he was just like, "I got a plan, bro. I got a plan." And I was like, here we go. So we had about a 3-hour ride back from Massachusetts to go home. And he goes, "Listen, bro." He says, "Yo, let's use the system. Let's use this thing. Let's see what it will do. And let's make it happen, bro. Let's win this show, bro. Let's go." And so he knew that there was a little switch in me that he knew he could turn on in that competition and that competitiveness. He said, "You know what, bro? I got you. I'm going to push your buttons." And so I said, "Okay, listen, I'm going to go home and I'm going to think about it and I'll let you know." So I went home, thought about it, and decided that I'm going to do it. I said, "Well, what do I have to lose?" I said, "The worst case scenario, I'll get in the best shape possible, right? What I got to lose?" So Daryl, I'm going to tell you this, bro. It was crazy. In 12 weeks, I lost 40 pounds, 16% body fat, put on 14 pounds of muscle, and took third place.
Wow.
Number one. And at that moment, bro, I was in tears backstage just thinking of the hard work, the dedication, and now I'm back. I felt like, I'm coming to America, when Akeem gives the money to the homeless and they were like, Mortimer, we're back. That's what I felt like. You know what I mean? He was like, we're back. And I felt like I was back. And that was where the journey began for me. And so, over the next 2-3 years, I really started working on the development of what it was that the Lord wanted me to do. And here was this vehicle, this amazing vehicle that I had flown out to Phoenix, Arizona, met with the owners, sat down through some events, and really understood that this company was really working on impacting world health and freeing people from physical and financial pain and creating the largest health and wellness company in the world. And I'm like, no compromise. And, it's the highest quality ingredients. It's holy smokes. I'm like, this is perfect alignment for me. This is exactly what I want to do. And so at that point, Daryl, I said, you know what? I'm going to have to burn the boats, bro. I'm going to have to burn the boats. I'm going to have to go all in because this is what I love to do. And as you see this list, these are all the people I get to bless every single day, man. And this list has been going on for about a month and a half. So every single day, man, I'm working on connecting and I decided to be a professional network marketer, man, and really get out there and change people's lives, impact people's health, and really create a team and a culture of people that will believe in each other no matter what, believing in people before they believe in themselves, and give back everything that I was reborn with and really living into my destiny, man.
Man, that's so awesome, man. Let me do something for our audience here because you can be tempted right now to think that what Aaron is talking about is only possible for people like him who are former athletes or something. But even he had his struggles, and I want to show him kind of your picture here, man. So give me a second. Let me see if you guys can see this picture right here. Let me know if you can see that in the chat there.
It's really small, Daryl, but I can see it.
Is it really small?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try something else. So I'm gonna try to share my screen here. Let's do it this way.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Is that better?
Perfect.
So man, what I want to talk about is, man, this picture here, you and this beater, man, that don't necessarily look like a guy who's all about being in shape, man. I mean, is that bacon and biscuits on that plate right there, man?
Dude, it was Father's Day. I had some bacon. I had some biscuits, man. That's my little boy's foot right there, right laying on my leg. So we were sitting there on Father's Day having some typical breakfast before I found out that wasn't really where I needed to go.
So man, talk. Just break this down for the people out there that are like, okay, I get it. You're able to look like The Rock here on the right. And you're able to get into that type of shape because you're athletic, because you're but man, all those clients that are sitting there on your board, I know they're not all former professional athlete who had that athleticism that you had. So break this down, man. Why is this a possible solution for anybody out there who wants to get healthy and live fit?
Well, this is what I learned, Daryl, is that 80% of these results was because of nutrition. Our bodies need to be fueled. We have an amazing vehicle that was created when 200 million sperm were racing for that egg, man. And you were chosen to be amazing. This body we have is incredible. And so it's about being fueled up. It's about building the body to be the miracle that it is. And when you put the right stuff in your body where you're fueling your cells, and when you're putting in the consistent activity, whether it be walking, jogging, sprinting, weight training, whatever it is, being a busy parent, you can be in the best vehicle, meaning your body, possible. And that's the thing. It's about the fuel you put in. Now, again, not everybody wants to stand on stage and do what I did. But here's the thing. You could if you wanted to. You saw that guy, Mike Jones. He lost 110 pounds at 55 and went on stage and won second place just a few months ago. So here's the coolest thing about it, Daryl, is that when I realized that it was the fuel and the food that we were eating that was holding us back from being the best version of us, that's what we need to focus on. And so once you do that, your body will be the miracle. You know, and I know there's a lot of things out there, a lot of fads and a lot of things out there that are short term. I'm about lifetime. I'm about lifestyle. I'm about creating something that's sustainable for someone. Balance, 80-20. 80% of the time, focus on your goals, crush them. 20% of the time, celebrate the fact that you stuck to it 80% of the time. That's the key, 80-20, man. And so it's possible for everyone. And I've helped over 3,000 people globally with this. You know, find what is right for them, whether it be healthy aging, you know, energy performance, weight loss, weight management, you know, whatever it may be, mental clarity, whatever it is that you're lacking right now, I can help you with a solution. And that's the key, Daryl. It's not about me anymore. I did what I did, and I continue to be an example of what's possible, but I want others to know what they're capable of and that they're possible. And that's what I focus on.
Man, that's awesome, man. I love your emphasis on helping others and helping them, you know, because what I see is when people get healthy, they feel better about themselves and everything else in their life gets better. I mean, is that something that you've seen as well? Just not only the physical transformation, but the mental transformation. And I mean, what other results are you seeing from this stuff?
Yeah, you know, the number one thing that I noticed the most, Daryl, is that we want the world to change. We don't like the environment we're in. If we want that to change, we must start with ourselves. We must look at what it is that we're providing in value. And the one thing I love about the profession that I'm in is that it really is a growth profession with a compensation plan attached to it. So my business grows to the extent that I grow. The way that I develop as a human being, the way that I give as a gift giver, you know, as I develop into the best way that I can live. Because I know that the greatest two dates of life, okay, is the day that we were born and the day that we'll be called to heaven, right? But here's the thing, the dash in between there is what matters here on earth. And so we must develop. We must not stay stagnant. We must not park, as Les Brown says. There's no parking allowed. Okay, we must keep moving. You're either living, you know, and growing, or you're dying. There's no in between. If there's in between, that conformity is where people die. So for me, Daryl, I've invested so much, and I continue to, in my time as I develop, okay, as being the best person I possibly can. And it's not about what I'll receive in return. It's about what I will give in abundance. And that's what brings me joy, knowing that if you can be a gift giver, if you can give without any expectation in return, you will always be happy. If you continue to barter in your life, you will always be 50% disappointed. That's the way life goes. If you barter, do for me, I'll do for you, it's always going to be 50% at max. But if you're a gift giver, right, you give the gift with no expectation in return, you'll never be disappointed. You will live a full life and you will enjoy every second of the day. And so that's what I've been focused on. And during this journey of becoming, you know, a professional network marketer and a servant leader, I've learned that the most important thing I can do is become my best, wake up with intention to serve, right? And continue to grow and never stagnate, you know, never stagnate, never conform, and encourage everybody around me to be better and also leave them better than it was when we first met.
Love it. Love it. Hey man, we're gonna transition into I want to have you walk us through step by step, you know, how if I'm, you know, 40 pounds overweight and, you know, I'm 50 years old, how can I start to what are some small steps that I can take in order to start transforming my health? But before I do that, I want to tackle a couple of shout outs, and then I got to ask this question. Okay. So first of all, let me give a shout out to my mom. I see you came on a while ago. Just wanted to say, hey mom, I love you. Thank you for believing in me, supporting everything I do. Mike, I see you out there, man. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for joining us. I see Jeffrey and Amanda. Coach Mark Elder was the one that recruited me to Central Michigan. I remember he came to my basketball game and just was like, make sure that we got to get this guy a spot. So they actually moved some things around. So thank you, Mark, for believing in me. And everybody else, I know I'm missing a lot. Some of you joined, you know, 15 minutes ago or so, but hey, I just want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Share this video. If you want to learn more about Aaron, I think you can go to his website at aaronhairston.com, correct?
Actually, that's being revamped right now. Okay. Just email me at coachhairston@gmail.com. coachhairston@gmail.com.
coachhairston@gmail.com.
Yep.
I'm going to have my wife put that in the chat for us so that we know how to get a hold of Aaron. But, man, let's tackle the big awkward turtle in the room. So are you and The Rock related? You look so much like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, man.
Not at all, actually. I am waiting for that day. I am continuing to search for that day that I can meet this gentleman because honestly, I'm inspired by him. He's in everything. He has his hands in everything, and me and him have a similar story, with him going to Miami and getting hurt and losing his opportunity. And we both say the same thing. The NFL was the greatest thing that never happened for both of us because we both became more. So I'm really looking forward to meeting him and shaking his hand and letting him know how much that I admire what he's done. And that day will come, I'm sure.
So let's be honest, man. Like, how often do you get that in public?
All the time, man. It helps. It's great for business. It's great because again, it's a great conversation piece. And, I'm flattered by it because the guy's a rock star, man, and to be, to be mistaken as him, it's like, whoa, that's a big shout out. So all the time, man, all the time.
So have you ever just like kind of went along with it for longer than you probably should?
Yeah, you gotta have some fun with it. I'm taking some pictures. I told him to angle the camera because I'm only 5'11", about 220, right? I mean, this guy's 6'4", 280. So, we got to angle the camera just right. But yeah, I've done it. I actually, I had somebody bring their mom over to me and say, "Can you do a picture real quick? She's not going to believe this." And so it was fun. I have fun with it for sure.
Man, that's funny. Okay, so everybody, he doesn't serve as a stunt double for The Rock, but he does look like a man. And so we had to get that out the way, man. So
that's awesome.
Anyways, all right, let's get back serious. Okay, it's a lot of people right now watching. They see the title, Get Fit, Live Healthy with Bodybuilding Champion. And they're like, I want to get fit. I want to live healthy. But I don't want to necessarily hear from this bodybuilding champion who's going to tell me I need to work out 8 hours a day and not eat any ice cream or anything like that. So, man, walk us through right now. If we're 40 pounds overweight and we're trying to get back into shape and start living healthy because we know that it matters, walk us through practically how we do that.
So the first thing is we got to understand why you want to do it, because I think we can go through the strategy all day long. But if the certainty and the significance isn't addressed, the certainty being that you believe that you can do it and the significance that you're worth it, if those two things aren't addressed, then no matter what strategy we go at, you're going to quit eventually. It's just like anything else, right? If it doesn't mean anything, it will never be worth it. So that's the first thing is that we have a conversation, right? And if you are interested, then just hit me up, coachharrison@gmail.com. We'll have a conversation. Help me understand what it is that's important to you. Now, let's say that you've said, you know what? This is what it is. I'm excited. I'm passionate. I want this, and it will happen. Now show me the way. We get right into it. And the reason why I lean on this nutrition system so well is because it's very simple. It takes the complexity out of figuring out what to eat when, and it really fuels your body. And so it's really based on two protocols, right? Protein pacing and intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting has been a very popular term, and we've been doing it for over 16 years. And so now as it's starting to become more popular, there's right ways and there's not so effective ways of doing it. And notice I didn't say the wrong way, right? It's just not as effective. And so we do protein pacing, which basically means every 2 to 3 hours, we're eating something very high quality, right? Balanced proteins, healthy fats, carbs, things like that. So what we do is we use meal replacement shakes. Now, these shakes are amazing because they are nutritionally packed, okay? So you're not going to feel hungry because your body has everything it needs. So we're going to replace 2 meals a day with these amazing shakes. Then we're going to have 2 whole food snacks, around 200 calories, mid-morning, mid-afternoon. And then you're going to have a 400 to 600 calorie meal for dinner. And you're going to follow that regimen. And now we can tweak it. We're going to customize it. I have some people that work third shift, some people that work first shift, people that don't work at all, people that are always busy flying, traveling. We customize it to make it fit their schedule. And it's easy. Everything's portable, right? We mix it with water. It's great, okay? Very nutritious. No artificial anything, no compromise. Highest quality nutrition. So then once we know we're in balance nutritionally, we do a cleanse. Now, our cleanse, our intermittent fasting, is a lot different than a colon cleanse or digestive cleanse. What we focus on is cellular cleansing, right? Now, this is huge because no matter how clean you eat, you can't clean your cells, all right? That's just not going to work at the optimal level. So this program has designed a perfect way. You eat every hour, something that's approved on cleanse days, which basically means that it's not going to turn on digestion. right? And it's going to help the body digestive rest and also going to help your natural cleansing system, like your kidneys and your spleen and your liver and your lymph node system and all that stuff, your lymphatic system. So this is what it focuses on. And so you're going to do that for 2 days. Okay, intermittent fast for 2 days with this nutritional system, every hour eating something. And then we replenish the cell 5 days. And then we do 2 more days of this intermittent fasting. And that completes the intermittent fasting. And now think about this. If you're clean on the inside, can you imagine what you're going to feel on the outside? The clarity, the energy, you're fueled up. The body's giving it, getting all the information that it needs genetically from the food. Because that's all food is. Food is genetic information for the cell. Right? And unfortunately, a lot of the food that we eat is just not genetically complete. That information is wrong, right? It's missing some key pieces, so the body starts to compromise, and that's where things start happening wrong. So this is what we do. We get the body in balance nutritionally. And if you are an exercise person, then great, we get into exercise. If you're not, then it doesn't matter. It's only 20% of the results. It's only 20%. The body will build muscle naturally because we're in motion, right? We're in motion. Go out walking, go out jogging, go out there and hiking, or just be at your kids' games and don't sit down, just walk around, right? You know, do something active. And here's the coolest thing about it, Daryl, is that when you get your body into balance, it will be the miracle. And so everybody's different. I customize everything for every single individual. And everybody asks me too, is like, how do you support all these people? Well, you know what I do? I incorporate it into a community. We have thousands of people in this community, Daryl, that support each other. People from all aspects of life, right? There's no age limit. You know, I work with 3-year-olds on up to 88-year-olds, 90-year-olds. It doesn't matter, right? We are what we eat, and we'll get out of what we put in life, okay? So here's the coolest thing about it. I customize it. I work with you individually. I put you in our community. You're nourished. You're taken care of. You're supported. You're non-judged. You're loved. And we believe in you more than you believe in yourself until you believe in yourself more than we do. And that's how it works, Daryl.
Oh, I love it, man. Hey, you're selling me, but I'm not going to lie to you, man. The first thing that's coming to mind to me is, man, my soda, man. And I love it, and I have a slight addiction to it, and I'm having a hard time believing that if I implement this solution nutrition wise, that it's going to take away my craving for the things that I like. So A, talk about how does it help take away those cravings, and B, you know, can I ever cheat?
Well, the answer is yes. Yes in both. So here's the cool thing, Daryl, is that the body's a miracle, man. I mean, our bodies are incredible. And so what I've learned about cravings is balance, okay? So when something's out of whack, your body either gets what it needs or it compromises. So something like sugar, okay, is very addictive. It tastes so good. And our taste buds have changed because of the way that we've treated it. So then what really is good for us doesn't taste good anymore. And what doesn't serve our bodies tastes good because our taste buds have now transitioned. And that's part of the sugar, you know, the sugar world, right? That's how they make their money, you know, in sugar. So here's the coolest thing, Daryl, is that I had a guy who told me they were never giving up Chinese food. They were never giving up soda, and they were never giving up sweets. But they'll put this program into what they're doing. Okay? I said, okay, here's the cool thing. We don't have to stop it. Right? I said, just put in your shake in the morning, have a shake in the evening, and do whatever the recklessness you want to do during the day. Okay? Just promise me you'll do, you know, at the beginning and the end of your day with the best nutrition possible. Okay? And we won't even do any cleansing. We won't even get into that, right? Because now that's very tight and regimented, and you're not there yet. You're not ready to go to the next level. You're Pop Warner and you want to play the NFL. We're not going to play the NFL right now. We're going to Pop Warner. We're going to go through fundamentals. We're just going to get you nutritionally sound. How crazy is this? About 2.5 weeks later, the guy comes back to me and he says, you know what, Aaron, I found something funny the other day. He goes, as I was out at lunch and I was taking my break, I didn't want Chinese food. And I said, really? So what did you have? He goes, actually, I decided to go eat a salad. And I felt good. So I don't know if I'm going to eat that stuff anymore. Because honestly, I don't ever feel good after I eat it. It tastes good, but then I feel like crap. And I noticed that when that day I didn't do it, it felt great. I said, okay, good job, buddy. Keep going. Would you know today that he dropped all the weight that he wanted to drop? He feels amazing. He has more energy, right? And he actually has eliminated 80% of the junk that he used to eat. And he celebrates and he has fun, right? He has the balance, but he realizes that what makes him feel good is what he's been doing consistently. And that's the thing. Your body, right, will stop craving once it is complete. Our blood is being scanned by our brain every single second, saying, do I have what I need to produce these cells? Do I have it? Do I have it? And it says, I don't have it. It sends a signal which we recognize as hunger or cravings, right? When we don't know what the body needs. So what we do is we must have something in place that takes the complexity out of being a nutritionist and having to go ahead and break down all these herbs and botanicals and these vitamins and minerals, which we will never be able to really master, overnight, And so that's the key, is your body will tell you what's good and what's not. And it may take more time than others, but here's the cool thing. We got all the time in the world, guys. Just be 100% every day, focus on it. And that's why I go through the why first. That's why we have the conversation of why is this so important? Because when you look at that can of soda, is that going to help you to get to where you want to go based on what you just promised yourself? It's not about me anymore. I'm just here as an example because I'm on my own journey and we're going to do this together. I'm going to do it with or without you, but here's the cool thing. I much rather do it with you because I know what you want and we establish that. So that's why that foundation of understanding and commitment that I'm doing this because of, that reason because of, and I want this because of, is going to drive you to be 80% on point.
Man, that's so important, man. I like one of the things you talked about was the aspect that it takes the complexity out of nutrition. Because I'm in my own journey of trying to get back in shape and get healthy and things like that, and reading labels and trying to make sure that I have fresh vegetables in the fridge, and then I buy too much and don't eat enough, and then I go on the road and I can't, I'm struggling to eat healthy on the road and things like that. And so it is very complex to try to keep up with that label reading and nutrition eating. But your system, part of the beauty of it is it takes all of that complexity out and it makes it very convenient for you to live healthy. And it's not that you don't eat anything outside of the system. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So you're gonna eat food. Absolutely.
Okay.
But here's the coolest thing is the system is designed to be the foundation nutritionally. So that your body, right, is getting everything it needs. And then the food part of it, right, is really the fun. Be honest with you, because our food is, I think they said if you were to eat a bowl of spinach in the 1950s, you would have to eat 40 bowls to equate to the same mineral and the vitamin density that we had then today.
Wow.
So think about how many people eat 40 bowls of spinach?
Not me.
That's hard to do. Even if you had 40 bowls, you would never, ever eat it. So that's the thing is that you just must put in, you must supplement. You have to. You have to, because the food today is just not the same way anymore.
Hey guys, we've got about just a few minutes left. We're going to talk about, of course, I dropped Aaron's email here on Facebook live chat. It's coachhairston@gmail.com. And so if you guys want to get a hold of him, that's the great starting place. He's going to help you identify your why and then try to custom tailor a solution that's best for you. This isn't about just forcing you to make adaptations that you're not ready to make. This is about helping you reach your goals in a way that's achievable. And so, man, just start there with that email for him. By the way, this is, there's no strings attached to any of this. This is as far as much as you want to take it. That's not what we're about. We just want to help you to get fit and live healthy, because we know that that's so important for feeling good on the inside, looking great on the outside, and just feeling good and crushing it in life. One of the things I want to ask as we wrap up here, unless you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But talk a little bit, you mentioned about that your kids are also implementing some of this. And I think that's very important, because for me, I've got, I was about to say 4 daughters, but I got 3 daughters. We're not having another one.
Uh-oh.
I've got 3 daughters. They're 4, 2, and 2 months. And man, it's hard to get them to eat healthy. They see green on the plate and they run from it, Yeah. Our middle child, she's a little bit better. She just kind of eats everything. But obviously the baby's breastfeeding. We don't know how she's going to be. The older one she doesn't want to eat anything healthy. We have seen some success with smoothies. But, man, how are you able to get your kids to eat some of this stuff that's nutritionally solid for them?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is seeing us do it, right? Both my wife and I, we have our regimen and we have all of the systems that we follow, and they see us, right? And so they're going to follow what we do. And so that's the number one thing. And then the other thing is that the program is designed for everyone, right? I think the minimum age is 4, I think clinically, but really it's just food. So really, we just incorporate in our lifestyle. It's just what we do. And it tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. And so the kids love it. You know, they have the strawberry shakes, or they have the French vanilla shakes, or the pina colada shakes, or, you know, the peach mango shakes, or the chocolate shakes, you know, and they have their bars, you know, they taste like brownies, and they have the kids' vitamins, which I love because it doesn't have a safety cap on it. You know, why would you buy vitamins for your kid if it has a safety cap on it? Does that make any sense? You know what I mean? If a vitamin has a safety cap on it, that's a problem, people. You should be able to eat all the vitamins and your body just pee it out. If that's not the case, then why are you putting in something that has a safety cap and has a caution on it? And when I realized that, I'm like, oh my God, like I've been tricked. So that's the cool thing is the kids' vitamins doesn't have a safety. Nothing has a safety lock. The kids can just go and indulge. It's food. And so we incorporate it. We have great snacks. We have chips. We have bars. You know, we have vitamins. We have great hydration drinks, you know, lemon, lime, and grape and orange drinks, which my son drinks, you know, during his athletic stuff. And, you know, and my kids love it. We have greens, which is 30 different vegetables and botanicals in one scoop. I put it right in their juice, and they don't even know they're getting 3 to 4 servings of greens like that. You know, and so they got fruits. We have so much. And so it's, again, lead by example, and then just incorporate it. And they love the shakes, man. And my 8-year-old does 2 shakes a day. My 3-year-old does 1 shake. My wife used it all through her pregnancy, and it was great because her doctor, you know, was like, yeah, it's food, man. It looks great. The label looks great. You know, go ahead. And so it's awesome that it's for everyone. And that's something that's very important to me, you know, because I wouldn't put anything in my body that I wouldn't give to my kids. You know, and that's the number one thing is making sure we put in good, wholesome nutrition. And because of the way that our food is today, and some kids are very picky, it's hard. And knowing as my wife and I know now, we're putting good nutrition into our kids, and it's non-negotiable in our home. And they're used to it. They feel good and they feel great, and they have tons of energy, and they don't do bad in school, and you know they stay focused, and that's the key.
Yeah, man. I want to encourage all you guys as we wrap up this webinar session. To reach out to Coach and just start that conversation with him. You know, we've met. You know, I saw his motivational video, but then I reached out to him. He reached out to me. We connected. We had a conversation. Just the conversation itself added value to me, right? And so there's value in just having that conversation to see where am I at. That's the first step. Okay, don't worry. Don't allow the changes that you know you're going to have to make to keep you from taking that first step.
Amen.
Sometimes we overestimate the cost and we underestimate the results of when we pay the cost. And so we look at, man, I'm going to have to do this. Man, I'm going to cut out this. Man, I'm going to have to figure out how to move some things around in my budget. Da 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 da. And we talk ourselves out of the transformation that we really want to experience. And so don't worry about all of that right now. Have the conversation and then go from there. Okay. Break this down into small steps that you can implement, because here's the deal. You're going to take you wherever you go, right?
Amen.
Job, you're at home, you are with you wherever you go. You are the center, the core of your life. And so a healthy you is so important, right? And I'm talking to myself here because y'all know I'm on this journey to get back in shape. Identify your why, okay? Reach out to Coach and have a conversation. Coach, a lot of people are making jokes about me talking about I spoke my 4th child into existence. No, I did not. No, I did not. We're not having a 4th daughter.
That's
I'm
awesome.
already outnumbered 4 girls to 1 in my house, and so I can't take any more.
Oh boy.
And shout out to my grandpa. I saw you hopped on a while ago. Angela, I see you. Amy and TJ, thank you for joining us. Mr. Tim Ottoman, director, does a lot with athletics and does a lot for the community in general up there in Mount Pleasant. Thank you for joining. I see you guys. Cody, thank you. Hey, guys, we're wrapping up the end. I'm going to give Coach Hairston just the floor for the last couple of minutes just to say anything that he wants to say, whether it's about his health solution or just to encourage you in general. We thank you, Aaron, for coming and joining us on this webinar. Man, you've added value to us. You said a lot of helpful tips that I think people can start to implement into their lives right now. But obviously, I believe in what you're doing, and I want people to reach out to you and connect with you because, man, you cannot be around you and not get better. And so I just think that take that step. I have an abundance mindset. This isn't work with me or work with him. As you can see, if I lift it up, showed you my little gut here. There's no six pack in there. So this is not my expertise. You know, I help athletes discover their identity and purpose after sports. And we give former and forgotten athletes a second chance to succeed at life. So that's what we're focused on. But here's a guy right here who can help you in that area of health, fitness, wellness. And so, man, reach out to him and make that connection because I believe in what he's doing. So, all right, speak to us. What are some last thoughts you want to leave us with, some takeaways, some next steps?
So Daryl, here's the thing. I want to thank you so much for allowing me this platform, this vehicle to really get out there and speak to the masses and to make an impact, because that's really what's passionate to me. And that's what I live for every single day. And so if you're hearing this message and, you know, something has resonated with you, please reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. And this is the most important thing that you could ever remember, is that you are more valuable than anything in this world. Okay. You are special. You're awesome. And you're worth it. And there's so many people out there that are competing and comparing and trying to figure out how they fit in. You don't, right? You don't fit in anywhere. You are who you are, and you must be proud of that. You must love that. And if you're not seeing in the mirror what you wish to see, let's have a conversation. Let's change that. Let's make a decision. And if you do love what you see in the mirror, then let's talk. Let's see how we can impact more lives together, right? Because here's the thing. We're not going to be able to do it by ourselves. Right? We're going to be able to link arms, do it together. This world needs more positivity. It needs more encouragement. It needs more love. Bottom line, God is love, and that's what we need more of. And so that's what I'm all about. I'm glad that you guys jumped on here. Thank you so much, Daryl, again, for having me here. I love you all, and I thank you all for just being more every single day and encouraging others. And I look forward to talking to many, many others as we form a bond to impact world health and global change, guys. Thank you so much, man.
Yes. Absolutely love it. Hey, thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you again, Aaron. Hey, if you're watching this live video and you're not already receiving our latest content, feel free to drop your email address right there in the comments, or send me a direct message. If you're interested in talking to Coach, his email address is in the comments area. Shoot him an email. But please, man, continue to spread this word. Feel free to share this video. I'm going to embed it on my brand page after it's done uploading and exporting. You can still head to the webinar registration page if you want to access that replay, but we've got to get that email address to make sure we get this information directly to you, so you don't have to just hope that you catch the live notification when we go live. Man, what a great time today. Round of applause for Coach Aaron. We love you. Hey, man, he does motivational videos 5 days a week. So, man, join in for that. I've been watching, and this guy always has little nuggets. He's dropping gold all the time. So, hey, follow his movement, man, and support people who are trying to help others be successful. All right? Love you guys.
Man. Thanks, Daryl. God bless, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.